Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name's Alex and I would love it if you could subscribe down below and give the video a like if you enjoy it. Today I'm going to be showing you what's on my iPhone, and I have the iPhone XS Max, I believe. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay guys, so we're going to start with my home page, or the first page that I have, and I only have two just for simplicity. And in this second screen you can see my home screen, which is also my lock screen, and it's a picture of me when I was younger and my dad, and it's just a nice memory, and not even a memory, it's just a nice picture to have there. And honestly, I change this picture up a lot. Sometimes I have motivational quotes, sometimes I have pictures of me and my friends. Currently, picture of me and my dad. So on my first page I have the batteries widget. Shows all the batteries of all my different devices I have when they're connected. Right now I have my Bluetooth off, so none of the devices are actually connected right now, but usually it will say my AirPods, my phone, my watch, stuff like that. And it's kind of useful to have, honestly, just to have it there to take up a little bit more space. And the other two widgets I have is, the first one is the weather, which is just so convenient. You can just see it right there, or if you want to easily access it, you can just click on it, which I think is super useful. And the next thing I have is my screen time, and this is just a good thing to have on my home screen as a reminder to reduce my screen time and make sure I'm using my phone for things I actually want to use them for. So I'll show you my screen time right now. This is kind of like exposure, but today most used is my books, which I'm pretty proud of. I read for over an hour and 10 minutes. I've been on Instagram for 20 minutes, which is probably not great. It wasn't useful, it wasn't productive. I didn't do anything on there that I could have lived without. So yes, I'm gonna try not to do that. And let's just go in and see my week of screen time. Average 3 hours and 41 minutes. Okay. Kind of high. And my most used is YouTube, which is just not that great. But I think I watch most of my YouTube on my phone anyway, and I usually do this during breaks in my school while I'm eating lunch, stuff like that. So it's not 100% a waste of time. It is kind of a waste of time, but considering this is over a 7-day period, I think 5 hours is not super bad. My next is Instagram. Yeah, let's just not talk about that. I usually go on Instagram while I'm in my classes or when I'm doing, like, eating lunch or something. My next one is books, which I'm pretty proud of. I'll show you the book I'm reading later when we get to that app, but sometimes I kind of switch between Kindle and books to read, which is why the screen time is different for these. Anyway, enough about screen time. Let's get on to my actual apps. So the first two apps that I have on my home screen is FaceTime, which, you know, I use pretty often to call my parents or to call my friends occasionally. And then I have my Gmail. I'm not gonna go into that and show you all my emails, but I just have the Gmail app right here, and I'm logged into all my emails, so my school one and my personal one, and it's just useful to have it there. And then I also get the notifications, which is great, especially if it's like a time crunch thing. And yeah, it's not something I really spend a lot of time on. Then I have this folder which is my socials, and that's Snapchat. Spotify's not really a social, but I keep it in here anyway. Snapchat, Spotify, Instagram, Netflix, Messenger, TikTok, and WhatsApp. I'm gonna preface this, I don't really use TikTok. I never really got on that trend, which I guess is kind of good. I haven't wasted half my life on there. And Messenger I use occasionally. I'm in a few groups that I have to be on there for. And Instagram, as you saw in my screen time, I spend a little bit of time on there. I have a personal account, and then I have a couple of other accounts that I just post about stuff about my life, and I'm not going to go into too much about that. Then Netflix, obviously, and right now I'm actually in the middle of watching Modern Family. Super good. I started watching Tiny Pretty Things, but it got really, I found it was a bit too much stuff going on, and I was kind of just interested in the dancing, honestly, so I just stopped watching that. And then I have WhatsApp, which I have a bunch of group chats for like university applications, and that's mainly what I use it for. And then I have Snapchat, where I text most of my friends on Snapchat. And that is it for the socials folder. Next we have books, and I'm trying to get myself to read more, which is why I have a specific dedicated folder to this and why it's on my first page of my home screen. So I have books, which is the one that comes with Apple, and then I have Kindle and I have Goodreads. Now Goodreads is just a way for me to find new books to read, and then currently I'm reading on books, and I'm reading a book called The Hate You Give, and I highly recommend this book. I'm only about halfway through, but so far it's really good. And yeah, I'll leave a link to what it's called down in the description if you want to check it out. And I also use Kindle for some of my books because my parents use Kindle, and if I want to read any books that they've read and they've already purchased, I'm going to read them on there. The book I recently just finished is called The Kite Runner, and that's the cover, and I just finished it, and it was a really good book. I highly recommend it as well. And as I mentioned, this year I'm trying to get myself to read more, and I'm trying to go for a book a week, but that's kind of tough, especially because I have readings for school as well, which can take up a few hours. So I had 100 pages last homework for English, and then I have settings right here because, you know, that's an easy thing, use it a lot, you know, and you can't really see it that much. Then let's move on to my second page, which is pretty much most of the other apps I have. I do have some which aren't included, which I just have here. But yeah, let's just start. I have a school folder, which is not all school related, but it's mainly stuff that I use for school. So first I have Google Sheets, Google Translate, Google Chrome, Google Drive, Google Maps, Google Docs, and those are all just general things that I use. I don't really use them that much on my phone, but sometimes I need to read something or check something out on here, so it's just useful to have. Then I have Notion, which I use to plan pretty much my whole life on there. And I will be releasing a new video, I think next week, about how I use Trim to organise my life. Next, I have Quizlet, which I use a lot because I'm in Japanese and we're learning a lot of kanji and vocab, so it's obviously really important to be able to remember those, and I use Quizlet to do that. I used to use Duolingo a lot, but I've kind of slowed down on that just because I don't have as much time anymore, and I did used to use it to try and learn Danish, which is where my cousins and a lot of my family live. And you know, it's been tougher to motivate myself to do that now because I know I'm not going to be able to visit them until, like, I don't know when, so it's a little bit tough to motivate myself to do that, but I think I'm going to try and get back into it, especially once I'm finished with all my college applications. Next, on this next page are all the things I don't really use. The first thing is calendar, and then Forest I used to use a lot, and I sometimes use it, but not very often, that's why it's here. Day one is like a journaling thing where you can write or you can record your voice as a journal, and I used to use this a lot on my old phone, but I don't use it that much anymore. And Instapaper is a way to record quotes from different books you've read and different authors that you like. And again, I use this on my old phone a lot, and I haven't even signed in on my phone yet. The next thing I have is Notes, and I use this for pretty much everything. My family and I, we have a shared note, which is like our shopping list, and we use that just to write down all the food that we've run out of and that we need to get in case anyone passes the shop. And the next thing I have is Repost, which is an app that you can use to repost other people's Instagram posts, and I used this for like a week and then I stopped using it because reposting, for one, is against Instagram's guidelines. The next thing I have is MedEntry, which was an app I was using to study for a test that I had to do. And then Nota, I don't even remember what this is. What even is this? I think it's some kind of recording app. Honestly, I have no idea. I think I'm just gonna remove it from my home screen because I don't really use it. And then I have Photomath, which I'm pretty sure everybody uses, and it's just a really useful thing to have if you're struggling in math, which I always have. Next, we have my fitness folder. This is just one page, and the first one is just my gym membership thing that I used to log in, get into the gym when I go. The next thing I have is my Apple Watch Fitness, and I recently actually gave my Apple Watch to my mom as I upgraded and I got a Garmin, as you can see, and so I gave that to my mum, so I don't use that app anymore. Same with Nike Run Club, I used to use it all the time with my Apple Watch, now don't use it at all. Strava I use quite a lot. I post all my runs on here, and this is my little page. You can see this is when I actually got my Garmin, just after Christmas. And then yeah, this week 38 miles so far, and it's Saturday and I haven't got my running yet, so I'm aiming to go for like 35 to 40 miles a week now, which is a little bit higher than I'm used to, but hopefully it should be fun, and I'm really in the groove of running right now, so I'm excited for that. And then we have Adidas running, which I had to use for a competition that I was in, which I actually won. I won 5,000 yen, which is about $50, so that was pretty cool. MyFitnessPal, never really used that much. I used to use it occasionally when I heard that it was good to like track what you're eating and stuff like that, but no, I don't do that anymore. Then again, Apple Watch, don't use anymore because I don't have my Apple Watch anymore. And then Garmin Connect and Garmin IQ I use quite a lot. This is how I just see everything on my watch. And I usually turn my Bluetooth off on my phone so I don't get notifications all the time. Like for example when I'm sleeping or if I'm doing work. But then the rest of the day I'll just turn my Bluetooth on, and then I can get notifications and I can sync my watch to my phone. Garmin IQ, kind of the same thing, you get the gist, it's for my Garmin. And then we have music, and I actually have these two apps. These are for drumming, and then I have Tabs, which is a guitar app where you can find all of the music for pretty much any song you want, and it's a really good app. I usually use it most on my iPad just because it's bigger and easier to see the actual notes. And I also use Musician, but I have Musician on my iPad, which I use to practice my guitar as well. Then we have a shopping folder, and this just holds a bunch of apps that I don't really use, but I think I might use them. The only apps I really use is Amazon and eBay, and then I sometimes use Urban Outfitters, PLT to just browse and look around. I never really buy anything on these apps, but it's always nice to have. Good For You is a sustainable fashion app, and it tells you stores near you or brands that you like to see if they're actually sustainable or not. And I use this pretty often just to find new places that I can buy clothes from to make sure that I'm doing my part in being sustainable. I never use, obviously, Amazon and eBay. And then Fetch is another like food delivery app. Good Food, BBC Good Food, is basically just for recipes and stuff, and I use it pretty often when I cook dinner for my family. Urban Outfitters, Starbucks, PLT, Uber Driver I don't use, but you know, if I go back to the UK and I want to be an Uber driver or something like that, I can always do that. And then PayPal, Uber Orders, Amazon Flex, AliExpress I use occasionally just to like browse around. I don't really buy stuff on there. And then my last folder that I have is my YouTube folder, and in this I have all the apps that I use for YouTube. And my computer is being so annoying right now, so I can't actually upload videos from my computer. So what I have to do is I edit them on my computer, then I airdrop them to my phone, and I have to upload them on like the YouTube app. And these other apps, camera I use to record all my YouTube videos, photos I used to obviously see my videos, and I just keep it in here because it's kind of neat. Obviously I use it for other things as well. vidIQ is an app that allows you to analyze your YouTube performance and see what tags and stuff are working for you or not. Fonto, Superimpose, and Bont are all apps I sometimes use to edit my thumbnails, and not so much anymore. I mainly use Canva, which is just like a website you can use to edit thumbnails and pretty much edit anything, and it's really easy to use. And on my dock, I forgot to mention this, I have my phone, Safari, messages, and music. These are probably the ones I use the most. Messages, just message my friends, my family, and then the phone app I use to call people, mainly my parents, as you can see, but occasionally I call my friends. Safari, because I like to Google stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. That is everything that is on my iPhone. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!